I'm going to leave this window. So I got no idea if we're live yet.
You got no live yet?
Wait a minute. It says we're on the air, but I got no idea where.
Okay. So we're on the air somewhere, but John's not sure where.
Live now stream.
Okay. So this is
Okay, I found it. We have 34 people find it.
34 people. Hi guys. So John is just, we had to restart because for some reason the other one didn't work, so we had to start again. So
okay, we want to start way from the beginning now if we can.
We're going to start way from the beginning. We're just going to start, we're going to back up and start from the beginning. Because this will be posted up there on YouTube. So that's my name's Ginger Cook.
And we're going to start this over again because we're having just way too much fun.
All right, so start again. Let's do the introduction again, John.
All right, let's go back to.
Let's introduce Sammy and John Little. Let's do the whole thing right here.
Yeah, we got to do it right, people.
Come on, let's have some fun.
This is a class act here. We don't mess around.
All right, so.
All right, we got that.
We need a test pattern.
Oh.
Like the old days, don't you think? I want a test pattern. When we have this stuff,
that
we'll throw up a test pattern. And
all right, we're up to 130 people. All right, people, quiet on the set now. Sammy, are you ready? You got the on-air light ready?
All right.
People, let's try to have a good show, even though we started off with a rough start.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Shh, quiet on the set, I said over there. Live from Houston. All right, people. The star won't be called. Okay. Live from Houston, Texas. Learn to paint Tuesdays with Ginger Cook. Had to say that quick. Sammy. Co-produced by Sammy Little. He's got the on-air. Notice he's got his Olay on. He's relaxing today. Kicking back. Tonight, we will be doing a Mardi Gras mask. Bum, 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 bum. And we're going to have that painted by Sammy. Oh, no, I guess we'll have Ginger do it.
Okay.
All right, now you're on.
Now I'm on. Okay, so thanks you guys for hanging in there with me. If you are new to our channel, this is a live show where we actually are painting. So Paint with Ginger on Tuesdays is where we actually paint something. Because that mask is a little bit challenging, I think for some of you, we're going to go ahead and show you a simple way to trace something on, a different way than I normally show you. Whoo, different stuff. Always like to share new stuff. And this is an 8x10 canvas. This will be simple to do. You can get it traceable on our website.
Eventually.
And then just trace it on yourself.
Don't go running over there for it yet.
He doesn't have it yet. John has not put it up yet. We're going to get 1,600 emails saying, "Where's the traceable, John?" And where is the traceable, John? You give up.
I think I just found out about it like 5 minutes ago when we were trying to go live.
Oh, it's just a selective memory. We love it. Okay,
see.
All right. Selective memory. That's okay. It's all right. I have selective memory sometimes too, but
that's a nice way to put it.
We're both getting older. Who knows, right? Anyway, I want to just focus right down here on my picture, and incidentally, that's John Little, our executive producer with the fun voice in the background. Certainly has a radio voice, doesn't it? This is what we're going to paint. Isn't that just cool? I absolutely love that. The original photo I got from Paint My Photo. If somebody wants to know where I got the picture, you go if you friend me on Paint My Photo. If you follow me on Paint My Photo.
Wait, we have a question. I'm sorry. The sunglasses have to be explained.
Oh, the sunglasses. Okay, so the sunglasses. All right, for those of you who are new, don't realize that I had eye surgery last week, and
one cataract.
And one cataract was a special lens was put in my eye, and the other lens was taken out. What a trip, huh? And then on the 16th, I get the other one done. These lights that we film with are very bright for my eyes right now, so I'm keeping these glasses on. I think by tomorrow for the live class, I'll be able to take them off, but I'm erring on the side of caution. How's that?
Ooh, I like it when you talk that way.
So, yeah, isn't that cool? So, erring on the side of caution. So, there we go. So, I want to make sure that we're good. So,
okay, go back to your paint your photo.
Okay. So, anyway, if Paint My Photo, pmp-art.com, all right? Then you go to, type in Ginger Cook and then follow me, and then you can go up to my gallery And you can see where some of the paintings I do where I have the photos. People say, where's the photo? Sometimes I just make stuff up, but there's no photo, right? So if there's a photo, it might be up there. If I got it from them, I don't get all my stuff from them, but they have some very talented, there's about 8,000, 10, 12, 15,000 pictures on there, you know? So it'd be kind of hard to find it otherwise. And but anyway, that's where it would be if you want the original photo. But we'll have a traceable on our website at some point, okay? So we're going to move this out of the way for a minute. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to move my palette out of the way because that's really immaterial at this point, okay? And I'm going to show you something kind of new that I had never shared with you before. Listen, nobody pays me to say this stuff. If I use it, I'll show you, right? Because people say, what's she using? Because, you know, quite frankly, if I'm watching one of those makeup videos and someone's got some good makeup, I want to buy the stuff they're doing. I mean, we're all kind of like that. Like, what do you got where did you find that? I mean, you know, who doesn't get behind this? So this is called Sorel Transfer Paper. And it comes in
different flavors.
Different colors. It comes in gray, white, blue, yellow, and red. Now, yellow's a good color because that'll go on most anything that's dark, and you know, kind of gray. Charcoal gray isn't bad for a light color. And the thing of it is that you get a big roll of this, almost a lifetime roll, because you can use it over and over again. You can use one piece over and over again. Now, I thought I had seen that Hobby Lobby, somebody told me, sold it by like the typing sheet of, which is much more practical. But anyway, this is what I happen to have. I don't have much left on the roll. I got a little piece like this left. This is what I've got. So what I'm going to do is just put that on my canvas like this. All right, do you see that? I'm going to put it on my canvas, and I'm going to test it. I'm going to do a little mark like this. And look, there it is. See, there's my, can you see it? There's my little mark. There it is with the pen. There it is. So then if I've liked that, okay, then I'm going to take, I've made a,
well, it's really light
I've
from
made
what we can see.
It's light. It doesn't have to be real dark, right? I've made a, just a copy, black and white copy of this. This is, let me get this down here about like this. Make sure I've got it. This is just, let me see, I got to move this over here. Now the trick is you've got to tape this down. So I think I had some scissors over here, didn't I, John? Did I have scissors?
Well, you may have, but I got my good ones over here.
Well, I'd like yours then, because I don't want to fool around with this. You know, we could have a good laugh looking for ginger scissors, and we can just take yours. How's that? How's that?
I say that, I had mine earlier, and now they're gone.
I think you gave it to me.
Sammy!
Now they're lost in the twilight zone, Ginger's twilight zone of do-do-do-do-do-do.
I tell you,
gave it to Ginger. Ah, good.
In a handy spot. Sammy,
Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take this transfer paper, and I'm just going to, I just want to make life simple for myself, okay? I've got to order some more of this anyway, all right? So here we go. I'm just going to cut it. Then these are like kitchen shears. What strange scissors, John?
What do you mean
Not
strange
that
scissors?
I'm not complaining. I'm just
Those
making an
are good and
observation.
sharp.
They've got little, wow. Okay, never mind. Just fine.
Okay, granted you could cut through chicken bones with them.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
You
that's
and
what
your
they
chickens. All right. All right. Those goes with the tractors, right? Your chickens and the tractors. All right.
Ooh, I'm liking that. Barn, tractor, and chickens in the field.
Oh, sorry, I said anything.
Oh, that is
Sorry,
great.
said
I
anything.
love
All right.
it. I need support on that, people.
All right, so
Chickens
we're going
with
to
their
take off a
tractor.
little tape here, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to tape this down to the canvas, right? Because we don't want this moving around like that, taping it down. And we're also going to test it to make sure it works.
I thought we already tested it.
Well, we did, but I'm testing it again.
Because you taped it, I see.
Because I taped it. I want to make sure it works, because once I tape it, I can't test. Well, I can. No, I've tested it. So now I've taped this down. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to cut off the excess.
Where do we get that transfer paper? Just a regular?
This is sold at the art stores. They sell it at the art stores. It's a big brand. There's probably some others. If those of you who remember typewriters remember carbon paper, and those of you who sew know that there's like wax transfer paper. This is special paper. It doesn't smudge and stuff, and it's sort of nice. I mean, you've seen me use chalk because you always have chalk and that's free. But honestly, if you invest in that, I mean, you can use it over and over again, the same stupid little piece, you know, because chances are you're not tracing the same thing each time, right? So I'm just going to put that on here like this, okay?
We do have a support for a chicken driving the tractor.
A chicken driving the tractor. What is that? What was that cartoon with the chicken? Loghorn or something,
Yeah.
remember?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to put that up here like this, taping this up. Let's see, am I on the thing here? Make sure did I get it up high enough? Maybe not. See? This is why you check these things. Okay, so I want it up a little bit higher because I want the chin right
Make sure you
here.
have the chin in it, yeah.
And I want this right there. So here we go. There we go. Just, double check and make sure you've got this lined up because otherwise it's sort of pointless, all right?
Apparently Joanne sells that transfer paper.
Joanne sells it too? Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. If those of you who are from out of the country, that's a fabric store. But they have some art supplies. Well, that's good because every once in a while Joanne does these crazy sales. Have you ever noticed that? Where 50% off everything or 60 in the store with your whole order. And, I rarely see this transfer paper stuff go on sale. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and take the pen and I'm just doing right on the canvas like this. I'm not being all that careful, but you guys, at this point, I just need my chin under here like this. I'm going to put my lips in. Oops, got that wrong. Probably should be a little more careful. Okay, go slow and push pretty hard with the pen. You don't use a pencil. The pen helps you see where you've been. Transfer paper works if it's just a drawing you've done too, by the way, just saying. Okay, and that certainly works on that too. Here's our eyes. Those are real important. Okay, there's our eyes. I mean, there's really not a lot you have to. I wouldn't do all the scroll work, right? You know this is kind of come up about like this. This is coming up kind of like this. But basically, let me just undo the paper right here. Basically, that's, what am I missing here? This side of the face didn't transfer very well. I'm going to push harder so that show up. How about right here?
Is that paper, is that graphite, is it more graphite or more waxy?
I don't know. You can look at it, John. Maybe you haven't thought about it. I just got paint all over it. I love it. It flew around. Oh, well.
Of course you have paint on it.
Okay. I mean, I just did. You can look at it. It's not really waxy. It's
graphic.
It's kind of a graphite paper. All right. I would say that's true. It's kind of a graphite.
It says it's wax free on the box.
Wax free on the box. Good to know, right?
Right there. Now we know we're better for it. Contains no wax or grease. Erases like a pencil, won't smear. It even washes out of fabric.
Well, okay, there you go. So, I mean, it's not that you need another thing to buy. I mean, that's the thing. You really need more things to buy.
Well, the normal method you use is put chalk on the back of them.
But but the thing with chalk is that if you're doing fine detail work, chalk kind of gets in the way of that. Chalk's okay for some things, but you're doing fine detail work on this, so your chalk, this doesn't get in the way of your paint. Okay. Now, you'll notice that there's an underpainting. I did a blue underpainting on the whole thing, and if I'd had some yellow paper, I might have done an underpainting of blue on the whole thing, but I didn't have a yellow paper. I just had the dark. So therefore, there's our mask. I think that's pretty good. We'll take this off now. All right, so there it is. There's our mask, all drawn on there like that. And
we can almost see that.
Can you zoom in, John? Can you see it?
Yeah, let me zoom in a
there's
little bit.
There's quite a glare here in the TV thing here, on the TV thing, but you can just barely see them. You can just barely see it. Do you see it now? You can see the outline of it now. Okay. So then what I'll do is I'll just take I'll give you the scissors back so that you know that I've returned. Y'all are witness. I returned those scissors, right? So if you can't find them again, it's not on me. I gave them back, right?
Gave them back? Yeah, what? Over there. I'm stuck over here.
Well, life has little problems, you know what I mean? Life has little problems, John. Just deal with it, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take maybe one of these small angle brushes. Just, did I sand this canvas? Probably not. Should have. All right, so, well, we got ahead of ourselves. Let's just take a little purple now and a little angle brush, and let's just go ahead and because it will erase like pencil, all right, you guys, because it will erase like pencil, here's what you need to know about that. If you were doing a very complicated thing, like say a clipper ship with lots of little lines and stuff, you may want to spray it with varnish and like a matte varnish, spray varnish, and seal it. It's a good trick, and then you can't erase it. Does it make sense? Then you're not going to lose your lines. If you know what I mean, you wouldn't lose your lines that way. I'm just saying, if you were in danger of losing your lines, that would be one way not to have it happen to you. Okay. And remember to tape it down. If you don't tape it down, now see, I'm sort of doing the opposite of that. I'm kind of going over it with a little dazzling purple, you know, so that I know where I am. Okay, so I'm just taking a little angle brush like that and kind of kind of going around like this. You can even do sound effects. You like that?
Why do you sand the canvas?
You sand the canvas because it makes us first. When you're doing fine detail work, it's easier to paint on, and also your brushes wear out. Think what happens to your fingernails on an emery board. You think of your brushes on this rough canvas. If you don't sand the canvas, you're wearing your brushes out, and if you bought some good ones, that's very disturbing. You know, maybe you're the best brush person ever as far as taking care of your brushes, but that won't mean diddly squat if they're worn out from a rough canvas. Okay.
Diddly squat. That's an older term.
That's an older term. That's something that we used to say when I was in school. But that'll date you. I wonder. There's probably some terms that we all have. I mean, some that can't be repeated live on the air that we all learned when we were teenagers, and we all used to say. Okay. But diddly squat, I think, is one that just is probably okay. So, all right, as long as
wait. Going back to the canvas, yes, you do want to sand your canvas with sandpaper.
Light sandpaper.
A fine grit.
Yep, fine grit.
Like an 80. We have a 2 course of a grit right now. That's all we had available. But we didn't sand this one. We totally forgot.
I forgot. You know, but that happens. Now I'm going to pay the price. I'm going to wear out my brush slightly. Woohoo! Woohoo! Brand new brush. I'm going to slightly wear it out. There you go. But the more paint you put on, the less that happens. It's just your first coat of paint. Okay, so there's my eyes. Okay. Ooh, like that. Now, all right, so I've kind of got this done. And
it's scary looking already.
What are you talking about? It's doing what now? Did I not? Well, I didn't paint that. I didn't draw that inside line from the nose.
Oh, the other part of the mask?
I didn't, but you know what? I'm a talented person here. I can guess where that goes. How's that? There, like that. There, okay, good. All right, so there it is. All right, there's my mask. And let me put the picture down for those of you who want to see the picture. Let's put the picture.
Put it up above you.
Put it up above it, meant me, and you can zoom out.
Myself out. Yeah,
you can zoom out. You can see that there's that's what we're painting, you guys. Okay.
So
and
that way you'll have a reference.
So you know there's our that's what we're painting. Okay, and there's our chin like that. That's what we're painting. Now, what I'm going to do is take a brush like this. This is a Ruby Satin Silver number 8 bright brush, and we're going to take some ultramarine blue and purple, and we're going to go ahead and paint the rest of the picture in like this, the background picture. We're going to do this. Now, normally I probably would have painted the whole thing this color and then just traced the mask on. That would have been an easy thing to do. But again, I had the dark graphite paper would not have shown up.
It would be very tough to see. Because
I would have had to have yellow or gold or something, or red I don't think would have shown up. They make white, but white, I like yellow because it's a little bit brighter. And so I'm going to order some more, John. Just note to self, order more of that stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to try that myself one of these days. You do want to you want to sand your canvas after the gesso.
Yeah, and you don't gesso. You normally don't gesso a canvas. The canvases come pre-gessoed. So you don't screw around with the gesso. So whoever told you that, I got to tell you.
They probably have stock in the gesso company.
I don't know, but you sure don't. All right, so we're going to, you just don't need to do that. The canvases come gessoed. So You know, and if you were to gesso canvas, you would gesso it and sand it in between coats too. By the way, you would just do it if you were to gesso it, but mostly you just don't bother with that stuff.
Does John paint? No, not yet.
Now,
I've been threatening to do it, but she keeps giving me more things to do.
Well, look, we have so much to do. Like for instance, when I painted this, you know, for those of you who are new to this and don't know, I was going to say, if you want to get notices of our live lessons, be sure to subscribe now. If you haven't, subscribe and then hit that little bell underneath the subscriber thing, because then you will be notified when I'm live. Like for instance, did you know that today I went live for an hour and a half, impromptu live, and I let you be a fly on the wall in my studio. Now, I was in a class like we're doing now where I'm explaining stuff, you know. In fact, basically, I told you I wouldn't answer any questions. I was just painting, and you could just hang out in the studio. John spent the morning on the phone. This is the painting that we did for that, that I finished that. Is that not cool?
Now, you got to really watch that lesson, because that's not what it started to look like.
Oh, no. There was a far cry from that, you know, to this. I think I have can you reach me that photo?
Of course, I'm right next to it.
No, he's not. It's across the room, but I'm trapped in here with a microphone, so I can't move at all.
Giving me excuses.
Yeah. Sounds good, right? So this was our photo, right? And there you can see that, and you're going to see. Basically, you see how I design paintings. All right, with that video, and we're calling this series. What are we calling it, John? I forget.
Oh, we have a good name. It's the RAS 101, which stands for
what?
Reality Art Studio.
Reality
101.
101.
Season 1, Episode 1.
And we'll do more of these where we don't know when, but if you're subscribed, you'll know. You'll be in the know.
It's not on a schedule, but you got to make sure you have your bell alert so you'll be alerted.
So you'll see it. And this is fun because anything happen. So mostly I'm not doing too much talking, but you know, it's not to say that I might not throw in a story or two, because I know you guys like those, and I'm certainly not short of stories. The saga, the soap opera stuff that goes on in everything, and I wish I could share with you more of the current stuff, but that's just too crazy.
That would have to be for the late night TV shows.
Yeah, that's we can't do the current stuff, but we're all right. Now I need this a little darker, so I'm gonna take a little bit of Cad Red Medium and a little of that purple. And I'm going to just get this a little bit darker. Too much Cad Red, maybe more blue. I want it a little bit darker in a couple places here. I'm just going to come over here like this.
Ginger, you should do so many more of those fly-on-the-wall videos. I love it.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you like that. I thought, you know, I have people say all the time, can I hang out in your studio with you and just watch you paint? I'll be real quiet.
So we figured this is the next best thing we could offer.
You know, this is, you know, and yeah, why not? Because you can kind of see, and listen, there may be a painting I decide and then I just trash it. You know, that may not be a finished product. I'm going, well, this sucks. Not doing this. You know, this was zing, bad idea number 2, right?
Let's get the old paint it out.
You know, look, everybody's got duds. You get a few duds. You got to say it's a dud, or you know, maybe it's a great painting, but it doesn't a teachable painting. And a lot of the stuff I do has to be teachable. All right, I'm going to put a little phthalo blue in here now. That's it. I want some phthalo blue on here. Okay, that's great. And I'm just going to paint over that because I know where that goes. I don't really need that to be there.
You can put that back in.
I can put that back in, and I need that dark. All right, so while I'm doing that, I got to say that we've had some great stuff being sent in today. I'm going to dry something so I can continue with my stuff. We've had some great stuff sent in. You know, we do offer personal art coaching on our website when you join, and really it's so reasonable. Seniors get a discount. We give Canadians and Australians a discount to make their money work. You know, because their dollar is so not great against the U.S. dollar at the moment. So, you know, we're pretty nifty. And then one of the benefits of being a member is that you can send me your artwork, and then I can comment or just tell you, hooray, you did great, you know. I really like it. But anyway, we're going to show you some of our artwork that some of you guys have sent in, whether you were a member or not. I mean, if you've befriended me on Facebook, which we just figured out how to open up the floodgates of Facebook, and more people can now, who have tried in the past a friend and got blocked, we figured it out. You know, we're not Facebook people really, but But we're working on it. Anyway, so you can, and then you can send me something on Facebook that you've painted from our lessons. Happy to see that. I generally don't put anything from other artists up there or just original stuff. So I'm not trying to be mean. We just kind of keep it to the lessons that we do, either in our website or on our, on YouTube. If you've done something with one of these, then we show it, and sometimes we put it on our Pinterest board. So while I'm drawing, John's going to just show you some
before we
stuff.
draw, why don't you talk about, I have Andrews up first.
Oh yeah, before I draw, I want to show you. Andrews is one of the artists. He's been with me a couple of years.
No, you see that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can see that. What's so fabulous about Andrew is he did this like 40 by 40 or something.
That's huge.
It's huge, right? And if you guys were, that hydrangea is one of the lessons we have on, hibiscus is one of the lessons we have on YouTube that we put up a couple weeks ago. And a lot of you have done it and done a great job with it, and there's so many different ways. Andrew lives in Haiti, where those things are probably blooming everywhere, and I bet this is just stunning in his home because it's so tropical. Now, when he sent me this, I was looking at it, and I thought it was really nice, except that the stamen was a little small, and just really too small. So here's the comments that I made. I said, what I did was I went to the original photo, and I copied it and put it and showed him what the stamen would look like, and then showed him how dark the center had to be, because I showed him actually the original photo I took it from, and showed him what it actually looked like in the photo I was using. Now he's further back from me, so it wouldn't be quite that big, but I showed him the whole photo and everything, and told him what he needed to do, and then this is what he got back to me with. No, that's not it. There was a second one.
Wait a minute.
Second one. He made the center bigger, but he actually added some more color to that. He actually ended up making it a little bit fatter too. Did you see that one?
I thought I had it. Oh, I think I showed the wrong one first. Wait a minute. Okay, I have this one.
No, that's his first one.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
And that's the second one.
And that's the second one. Okay, so you see the difference in what happened when we just changed it? Yeah, there you go. That's the first one he did, and then that's the second one. And it just changed the whole thing. And sometimes it's just a little tweak like that that makes a difference in your paintings. I think that's really cool. So anyway, I'm going to start drawing this. That's our personal art coaching. That's some of the stuff. That was just one or two things. So outside pair of eyes that says, look, try this.
All right.
Okay? I'm
turn you down.
Gonna turn me down.
Yeah, you're turned down. All right, we have from Stephanie the rose vase. I like how bright that red is down there. I think that is really cool. And also coming in this week from Helga. This is her first. No, that's another waving one. Let's come back to that. Oh, Christine did another cloth bag. This was from the birthday party painting. I think that's kind of cool. And oh, you gotta love this one. Also from Christine. She created a board she has in her studio called Gingerism. I don't know if you guys can read all those. Miss the palette. Acrylics are all about layers. We don't buy green, we mix them. No hard lines. Paint yellow over white. Lightest lights, darkest dark. Where there is a light, there is a dark. We're not married to the photo. Scrape and squish. Your mind goes on auto clone. Pinch edge of the brush, and the bottom one's covered. So I hope you can read the bottom one. And that is all. The other one we have is going to be another art critique. I'm going to have Ginger go through that one. So let's go back to Ginger.
Okay, so we're back. Okay.
And you're back. Oh, and wait. I have to turn you up. Now you're back.
Okay, did I mention the colors we're using? I don't think I did. I think it's titanium white, mixing white, cad yellow medium, yellow oxide, burnt sienna, burnt umber, cad red medium, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, and dazzling purple. The old gang. I mean, this is the gang of stuff. We use this all the time. This isn't a big surprise. Pretty much this is what we do, and then we do other stuff with it, okay? So that's what we've got going. And let's see, here's our little angle brush here. And what we're going to do now is I'm just going to paint in the mask. I'm going to take some white and a little bit of burnt sienna. And that's sort of a nice color, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and paint in this white and burnt sienna. That's pretty easy. There we go. Here we go. Let's just paint that in here like this. Paint it around here like that, using a little angle brush. If you haven't tried these angle brushes, you'd think they paid me to say this, but I just mentioned it because they make painting so much easier. This is a 3/8 inch angle brush from the Ruby Satin Silvers, and I just love them. I got to tell you, they're my all-time favorite brush. I really like them a lot. And I like the 1/4 inch, the 3 inch, and the 1/2 inch, because you can make really thin lines like this. You can come under that eye just beautifully, or you can do flat areas like that. So it's sort of a neat thing to do. You can do that, and you can see how easily we're painting that in. It's amazing how different brushes are over the years. Let me grab. I have a little bit of water. I put a little bit of water in this little heart-shaped cup here. And then I have a regular water bucket where my brushes go, but this is if you need a tiny bit of water just on the tips. And remember, and why do you need that? Because what happens is if your acrylic paint is drying on your canvas, it's drying in your brush too. You got to think about that. So if you're doing, particularly if you're doing big areas of stuff, you've got to think in terms of the fact that your brush is, I'm going to put some lighter color here like this, and come up here like this, and just come back over here on my nose. It's just more white with it, right, like that. All right, you got to figure that it's drying like that too. So look, this is a far cry from this to this. Sometimes it helps to see what something's going to be looking like. Have you ever gone to someone's house? They're building a new house, and they invite you over to see it, and it's in the construction stage, and you're going in, and it's all studs, sticking up in the wall, and they're taking you through it, and you're going, this is the living room, and you're going, oh, now you just got some concrete and some 2x4 sticking up, and you're going, and of course you're polite, and you're going, oh, very nice, and look here, there's my picture window, and you're seeing some, I don't know, something, and you're going, yeah, okay, and this is the kitchen. Isn't this going to be a great kitchen? You're clueless, but you're going, yeah, okay. And then, and look at this. This is the bathroom, just some pipes sticking up, and you no sense of what they're talking about. Now they've seen some plans, some pretty colored pictures. They have a good idea, but you don't. Okay, but a contractor might go in there and understand perfectly what they're saying because he can visualize from that the finished product. And what you have to be able to do as artists is understand that it's going to look like this before it's going to look like that. And what happens is sometimes when you're new to this, what'll happen is I'm going right into the burnt sienna now while this is still wet. When you're new to this, what happens is that you get this far and think, well, I can't paint because this just sucks. This looks terrible, and it's supposed to look like this. And if you don't know that, you almost need a little blind faith here. You're going, okay, it's going to look like this first, but then it isn't, right? So then it isn't. Now this is still wet, so that when I put this darker color on, it's going to blend in a little bit for me, because it's because this is a little bit wet, and I'm going to rinse the brush and just have a little water on it to blend. See that? I'm not using any blending mediums. Could, but I'm not. And I'm just going to sort of soften that out here, and I want a little bit of, what I want is underneath where the where all the scroll work is, I want a little bit of a shadow color like that. So a little water on the tip, back to the burnt sienna, like under here, like this. We want all around here, and under here too, we want a little bit of scroll work. We want a little bit darker. Now take a little bit of burnt sienna and burnt umber, come in a little bit darker, maybe just add some burnt umber at this point. That's your, reddish dark brown. And I want this darker, like this. Okay, and coming up here like that. Same thing on this side. We're starting to cause it to look rounder because we're making some dark. Come under the eyes like this. A little bit darker here. There we go. How about here? A little bit darker on this side of the nose. Bring this around like this, and it's going to be all dark in here where the scroll work is. Let's darken up this side of the nose a little bit. Okay, all darker in here. And then as long as we're doing that, let's take a little bit of purple and just get a little bit darker here where the scroll work's going to be, right next to the head here. Take a little bit of this purple and come around like that with it. There we go, like that. And that's pretty dark. You can see it. You can leave it. If you're not sure, you can see the contrast, can't you? Okay. I don't know if, they have, we talked about Mardi Gras. We thought this would be really fun. Our members with the gingercooklive.gallery, if you're a monthly member, what do you get besides, more art lessons? What's the difference between what you see on YouTube and what you get besides personal art coaching? Well, a lot of our lessons are a lot longer, 2, 3, 4 hours longer, more detailed, sometimes much more difficult. We have 1 cookie, 2 cookie for beginners, and back to basics. Brush strokes you need to know to make acrylics work, things like that. And then we go into some really challenging lessons, but because they're step by step, you'd be amazed at what people are able to do. And it's very impressive. And every Thursday, our members get a new release, all right? So the release that our members are going to get this Thursday to paint, all right, is this horse. This is called Wildfire, and that will be the release for Thursday on our website. Is that not cool? I mean, I just mentioned that because, there's a lot of blending. Look at the blending and shading that's going on in here and this kind of stuff, and all that's covered in how to do that. And that's what we're doing this Thursday, but because
there's more.
Once again, because there's more. Because if you already got this mask, if you're doing that with us, if you want, we've got this one to go with it. How cool is that? And that's a special release on our website for our members, and also we'll have it in our store as an individual lesson for sale if you want to do another one, to have one to go with it. And you can have 2 Mardi Gras masks if that's your thing. It may not be, but if it is, that's what we've got. We're very happy with that. Hope you are too. And we try to. That was that. And if you're a Wave and Water member, you're going to get it too. Right now, we're doing the biggest Wave and Water release we've ever done. It was the biggest painting I've ever done. It's hours.
It's days worth of filming.
There's like 3 days worth of filming.
3 days worth of filming. Each day was about 5 hours.
And each day was about 5 hours. And John's got day 1 up so far.
Well, day 1.5. Well,
day
half. Because I haven't got all 1 done. So I have two more sessions and 1 to do.
And then he's going to go on to 2 and 3. So, I mean, this is some of the things that we've done. And so we're sorry, Wave and Water, so we're offering you the mask too. We don't want you to feel, gypped, but we wanted to try to give you something really extraordinary. It's a big painting. It's a very, very big painting.
It's a gorgeous painting.
Do we have that painting anywhere?
Yeah, we do have it somewhere.
Why don't you find it?
Oh, please, let me. Can I do that? Oh, me! I want to do it! Me! Pick me!
I pick you. You should find it.
Before I leave on this journey, when you've been painting a long time, but not with acrylics, should I start with the spheres and the back to basics?
Yeah, here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you've been doing watercolor or oil. Acrylics work totally differently. Start with our back to basics to get the brush strokes you need to make acrylics work, okay? Now, the advantage is if you've been painting a long time, your drawing skills are probably pretty awesome. So some of that stuff is pretty easy to do. But I got to tell you that the back to basics, I've been painting with acrylics since they came out. That dates me, in the early 60s, all right, 1960s. And there's nobody knew anything about them. And a lot of the techniques I've developed, you're going to see just with me. You're not going to see that with anybody else. And at some point, I'll probably write a book about how to do it. Right now, I'm sharing this to the world with you. John's going to hand me this painting, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my brush down, and I'm going to show you. This is the one with the. There it is. Can you see it? This is our Wave and Water masterclass painting. How big is this? This is like,
It's big.
it's big.
I'll measure it when we get it back.
Okay, so can
And
you
that's
guys
the
see
one
that?
that's 3 days of filming.
That's 3 days of filming. That's the largest one we've ever tried to do. But you know, I think there were some comments from some people that, well, this all works very good when it's an 8x10, but I'd like to see you try it bigger. Listen, we try stuff bigger all the time. It all works the same, right? Just got to tell you, it all works the same, and you just use bigger brushes when you
30
do
by 24.
30 by 24. When you do something that big, and I show you, and I don't fast forward. See, that just annoys me. If I'm watching you do something, and I really want to see how you do it, you fast forward a bunch of times. Quite frankly, that just annoys me. I want to see what you did, every bit of what you did.
Not all of a
If I
sudden
want to
have it
fast
pop
forward.
up.
I want to fast forward. I don't want you to fast forward. Does it make sense? If I'm trying to learn how to do something, and I'm a very visual learner, you can tell me how to do something, but I want to see you do it. You know, there's a bunch of different types of learning. Did you know that? There's people that learn visually, people that learn first audio. You know, they need to hear like an audio first, and then they want to see a visual, and some people just like to read about it, okay? And I'm one of these people that just, I don't want to read directions for anything, okay? It's not just that the print's too small, I just don't want to read it. It's just I want you to just tell me how it works, and show me, for sure, show me, you know? All right, so that being said, you see where we've done a little bit of that purple. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to rinse the brush, and that's sort of like an underpainting going here like this. I'm going to come down and work on the face a little bit, take a little bit of white and a tiny bit of yellow oxide, just a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and paint in the first layer of paint. Now, I originally painted this over something dark, and I've still got a little purple on this brush, but that's okay. I think this will be fine. I probably will like this better. Usually when I do something a second time, I do have a tendency to like it a little better than the first time I did it, because, you know, you can see where you might have improved it. Does that make sense? So here we go. I'm just going to come around here like this. Got a little yellow oxide on this, and a little more white. I'm just going to come under here like this and just paint over the canvas. That's basically what I'm doing, is just sort of doing a little bit of an underpainting here. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm going to get a tiny bit of purple, okay, and a little tiny bit of yellow. Why would I put yellow with purple? Does anybody remember?
I do.
You do? Why do I do that, John?
To tone it down.
Yeah, but how does it tone it down?
It's opposite, complementary.
It's a complementary color. Now, and not to throw any too big terms out here, but this is a color wheel, right? So,
Ooh.
you know, this is a color wheel. And color wheels, it's like a cheat sheet. It's like a cheat sheet. It's like taking an open book test, because if you can't remember what's opposite yellow, just to go from yellow to opposite on the color wheel, and it says purple. So if your yellow's too bright, take a tiny bit of purple and kind of gray it out, okay?
Tones
and
it down.
if your purple's too bright, put a little bit of yellow in it, and it will just tone it down. And the same thing with red and green, or you know, turquoise and orange. Any of the colors that are opposite each other in the color wheel, those are called complementary colors, and it will tone them down. All right, good to know. Okay, so it almost grays it out. Okay, so that I could think I want a little more purple with that. And there we go. So I want a little bit of shadow under here like this. Put a little water on the brush, kind of make that, kind of blend that out. And this is my shadow color on the bottom of my mask here. Now notice how I'm just taking the brush and kind of wiping off the excess paint, and then just using my edge and sort of blending that out like this, and I'll get a little more of that purple color on the chin here, and come over here like this. Tiny bit of water. Just, everybody says, how come you don't paint with water? Well, acrylics are not watercolors. You know, they're meant to be painted like oil paints. In fact, the guy that invented acrylics, the story behind that, if you don't know, at least this is what was told to me. How's that? This is what was told to me, was that there was a very well-known oil painter, who I couldn't tell you the name of, okay? And he got very ill. You know, oil paints are lovely, but you know, they were invented a long time ago, before there was environmental thoughts about what poisons you and what doesn't. And they need big open spaces, like big giant areas to paint in. You need lots of ventilation, because some of the colors are toxic, some of the cleansing can be toxic. And basically, this particular artist was told that if he continued, he couldn't paint with oils anymore because he'd basically somehow managed to poison his system. Now, I'm not saying that happens to everybody, but you certainly have got friends that can't use household cleaners anymore, don't you? Have you ever noticed that they've got some sort of toxicity to household cleaners? Maybe you can still use them. I know that certain cleaners give me a total headache. That's why steam cleaners have been so popular with people. It's just steam clean doesn't need any chemicals. But anyway, when we're starting to be, really now in the last 20 years, we're much more aware of chemical pollution. How's that? Chemical pollution. Put a little bit of white here and a little bit of this mixing white with the...
Could you refresh my memory on what colors were used in the skin tone besides the purple?
Well, that we used yellow oxide and white. Okay.
Yellow oxide and white.
Yeah. So anyway, so the upshot of this is that his neighbor was a chemist and worked for an acrylic paint company, and he told his friend, he said, I thought it was terrible that he should not be able to paint anymore using oil paints. He says, I will make you a paint that will not make you sick. Now that's huge. What a breakthrough that is. It's almost like the guy that invented GPS. And look at all the arguments that are no longer happening in cars because people aren't fighting over directions anymore. They just ask Google where to go, kind of thing. And I mean, those of you who remember the arguments, don't you remember the arguments in cars, particularly between the opposite sex about the guy's driving and the wife's or somebody's driving and you're going, where are we going? Well, I don't know, you're the navigator. Well, you turned wrong when you should have told me. You remember those conversations, right? We don't have those anymore. Just think how much has been added to the planet. We're not receiving data. I do not get that.
It's going to kick back in shortly. I don't get it.
We give
We'll
up.
be back, folks. Hang in there if you can hear us.
If you can hear us, hang in there. We just keep on painting and hope that this is okay. We just
I don't understand why it's doing this. We did what, an hour and a half today?
Yeah, and we were fine.
All day long.
All day long we were fine. Yeah. Okay.
And video's back.
Video's back. So anyway, this guy invented acrylic paint, and that was the first. And then I think Liquitex was the first, or Utic or Liquitex was the first, one of the first companies to come out with acrylic paints. Now everybody makes them. They're made, everywhere. And there's grades of acrylic paint. There's student grade and a professional grade, and professional grades are the most like oil paint. All right. And that's what there's even acrylic paint you can put on your clothes, and there's there's just so many different kinds of acrylic paint. But just doing a little burnt umber now here on above the eye like that. Okay, and then just come around here like this. Kind of just bringing that down here. We needed to bring both of this down. We need a little bit of a shadow under the nose like this. And the same thing here, and we need to bring this down a little bit. There we go. Just bring our mask down a little bit to be kind of even with the nose here. There we go. That's what needed to happen. Now we're going to come back with coat 2 of the mask color. Put a little tiny bit of cad red medium with it, and just warm that up a bit. Here we go. See, just warm this up. There we go, like that. This is our next coat of paint. Now this mask doesn't require the blending, and that's why I picked it, because of all the scroll work in it. You don't have to blend it quite as much as you did, as you might think. You're getting away with quite a bit of just paint in here, which is kind of cool. And let's see, we want some white under the eyes like this. And the same thing here.
Here's a question. I heard that paintings painted in acrylic paints will begin to fade at around 40 years of age.
Not true. Not true. Acrylic paints will be here.
They're more stable than oils.
They're more stable than oils. Oils paints fade about 40 years. In fact, you want to know, oil paintings are the worst.
Yeah.
For instance, back during World War II, I don't know if you saw any of those movies about it, but the Russians were our allies during World War II. And when they, got into Germany and found some of the stolen art that the Germans the Nazis had taken, the Russians took it. And they really knew they kind of weren't entitled to it because these paintings had belonged to somebody. I mean, they just didn't grow out of the ground, right? But so they hid them down in the Hermitage, which is their big art museum, in the basement of the Hermitage, and they were in the dark for 50 years. And then when the wall came down, okay, the wall came down, and so then everybody's going, and then it kind of came out. Oh yeah, we have these paintings. Oh, were you talking to us, kind of thing, right?
Oh, those paintings.
Those paintings, yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we have those. Why do you ask, right? and we didn't do anything. It wasn't us. It was somebody else. Whatever the deal was, right? It's fine. Anyway, so it came out, and so then they started to give these paintings back. It came out because they could compare the Renoirs and the Gauguins and the Van Goghs and the Michelangelos and all these paintings that they had. They could compare them with ones that have been hanging in the Louvre or the Prado, which is the big museum in Madrid, or the Met in New York City, and the colors were so much brighter because they had been in a dark vault for 50 years. And even though they're so careful in museums to put the special kind of lights and you can't do flash and everything, oil paintings have a tendency to fade. Acrylic paints, on the other hand, quite frankly, will be with you longer than the Sphinx, I think, before they fade. They don't know when they'd ever fade. However, now Chiclets, for instance, like a Chiclet print or something, those can't be they fade as fast as you're printing them.
Just about.
Just about. You know what I mean? That's something that really fades. Got to tell you. That absolutely.
So be careful, you're buying those.
Well, and then you may not know this, but if you buy them, there's something called the big box stores. Did you guys know that? Big box stores. And a big box store is like J.C. Penney's or Bed Bath & Beyond or stuff. They're called by retailers big box stores. And why you want to know that is, let's put a little bit of burnt sienna with that. Why you want to know that, a little bit of shadow color under our nose here, like this. Why you want to know about the big box stores, all right? I'm going to make this a little bit darker here, down here on our nostril and around here on the bottom of our nose, like that, and just kind of get this, and I will fix it in a minute, but right now we're just doing this, okay? Is that they'll buy prints or something, or prints on canvas, which is a kind of a Chiclet, and I knew a manufacturer. He's now out of business, so I can say it. In fact, he used to buy my artwork and sell it on prints. And they deliberately pick machines and ink that will fade because in 2 or 3 years they want you to replace the picture. So what happens, there's a big difference between a high-quality Chiclet that you might get from with good quality pigmented inks, and that the inks that are sold on those. All right, now I'm doing a little bit of white here on top of the nose.
I think you're frozen again.
And are we frozen again?
I'm thinking you are, because I'm not seeing anything. Oh, there. Okay, your hand's showing up. Oh, we're way behind.
Are you?
Yeah. Let me see where I am in the feed.
Oh, I don't want to be behind. Don't want to be behind.
Well, I think you're okay. Some people can't get back on. Well, if you guys are out there, no, it's not for, okay. Some are. We lost half the audience. Half the audience was on their mobile devices and they didn't work. I'm trying to fire up my my Kindle Fire, see if I can get to it.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. That's terrible.
Remember, this will stay.
You see when you see I just keep painting. I'm just keeping adding to the picture. Keep adding to the colors.
Seems the iPad people are having a problem. I guess I could fire up my iPad too. Let's try the Kindle.
So anybody else having trouble getting on?
We lost Andrew because he was on mobile.
I'm sorry. Sorry we lost Andrew. But he got to see us feature his painting. That's nice, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm just kind of using the back of my brush here and doing this and just going to keep painting this in here, you guys. So we keep going here like that. Here's our mask.
And mine comes up and says
All right, I think
live now.
I think we're pretty good here with the light color and the dark color on the mask. Now we just need to work on the face a bit and add some more white here. Ooh, too much white. Gonna just say here's a little bit of white here on top of this. Kind of right on top of that kind of yellow color. I'm going to say that the top of this I love these masks. I think that they're very different. And I think that they're kind of fun. And let's take a little bit of cad red medium, a little white, and the same color that's on this part of the mask. Let's put on the lips here. Here like that. And a little bit of the shadow color of the purple here on the bottom, here like this. This is pretty simple stuff here. We're just doing a little bit of a shadow. Okay, I've got a little bit of a dark line coming underneath here like this. And a little bit of a dark line under here right at the bottom, like that. And there's our dark mask line. And let's see, I need a little bit more shadow coming up here on the top of this nose here. This comes up like this. And about like that. Like that. There we go. Where our nose is. And then what I'm going to do is take some mixing white and paint over that when it dries. So anyway, I think we were talking about, what were we talking about, John? I forget.
We're talking about the guy that invented the acrylic paint.
Yeah, so that's what he did. And so now you see, oil paints, are wonderful, but they're really, for me, oil paints are fine. I can paint with oils, but for me, acrylics are this year's this century's technology. Okay, and you can get the same effects with acrylics as you can with oils. So really, for me, I see absolutely. If I was doing portraits, I'd use golden opens, which they stay a little wet longer. You can use some retarders, but for the most part, people always say, well, what retarders do you use? And I don't use any retarders. Okay, I'm going to just sort of darken this right here, and maybe here in the corner.
And you also seem to use more paint than most people do.
Well, I use a little more paint. That's the secret. You've got to use a little more paint. And I'm just kind of warming this up a bit. All right. So there it is. Now, while this is drying, okay, so meanwhile back at the ranch, while this is drying, let's come under here and make sure we've got a good clean line on our chin, like that, okay, so there's the mask like that. That's good. Now, what we need to do is take a small pointy brush. You like that term, small pointy brush, which would be a 0, 0, 0, 0, like this. This is a small pointy brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some white and yellow oxide, like that, a little bit of water with it. Roll it. You see how I'm rolling the brush? And I'm just going to start up here like this, and I'm going to make some little spiral, swirly things like this, almost like quotation marks. I mean, really, you could make up any crazy design you wanted to, but really this is my design. Kind of like, almost like, could be roses, but we're just way back into the into the background. You want to come out a little bit into the background and come into the mask a little bit. Okay, like that. There we go.
An iPad won't resync.
Did you get the iPad? Did the iPad won't sync?
The iPad won't sync. You can get the chat conversation, but you can't get the video to come back up.
What is that? Why is that, do you think?
I don't know. Because it's working on the mobile devices. Somebody's doing it through a Google. All the Chrome is working. All the Googles are working. iPads won't work. iPhones won't work.
What does that say about iPhones? And that's what we've got.
Well, it could be the app. Now, could you go? You're not going to get the chat if you go to the browser. If you use Chrome. Sign in as Sammy.
Now, it's a little bit smaller when it comes around at the top of the nose here. Like that. It's a little bit smaller when we're doing the top of the nose here. In fact, I need to do a little bit of the brown first, I think. The top of the nose. And I need this a little wider, and actually need to come back with a little of the dark of the purple up in here like that, because I sort of lost that, so I'll have to come back and dry that. All right, adding a little bit of the purple because I need it a little bit darker right here. All right, let's come back
And you can't get
here.
to the live at all in that way.
Okay.
Nope.
So how we doing here, right? Pretty good, right?
Well, we've got 188 that are still hanging in there.
Well, thanks, you guys. We're sorry that, it's extraordinary that we can all be sitting here painting together, isn't it? And, talking and chatting, and you're seeing friends from all over the world, and that itself is pretty awesome. I would say that.
Oh, somebody force quit their app. Oh, that's a good point. Let's try that.
Did that work? Oh, force quit it?
Yeah, I got to quit the app.
Okay, and then
Bring it
they
back
get some
up.
back on?
I think so. I'm going to try it. Because it says you're live. I can click on you. Nope. Still didn't work on mine.
Didn't work on yours to do that? Well, it's good to know that you could do that, maybe. Okay, so we're going to come out here like this and start doing the little scroll work. And I mean, this is really simple, just like I say, little parentheses.
If you're thinking it's out of focus, refresh, because we're in focus still. It'd be your feed. Try to use Chrome on an iPad, it does not work. No, Wendy, I couldn't get it to work either.
Yeah, you're going to come around this way. Now, because the paint's drying in my brush, you'll see that every once in a while I'll either get new paint or I refresh it with a little bit of water on the tip of my brush. These small brushes are not going to hold the paint that your larger ones will. All right, they just won't. Okay, so there's our mat. See, it's coming along here. Now we're going to come up, when we come up here to the center, now we're just going to start, painting something like a little scroll work here and a little scroll work there. We're going to put a little...
Here, scroll work, there, scroll work, everywhere scroll works.
Are you being funny?
No, that sounds like a McDonald's. I thought
Does
that's what you
it?
were doing. Yeah, that's what you were doing.
Not so much, but okay.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I was going to
Well,
do
that's
chick,
that's
chick
what
here,
that's
chick,
what
chick
came
there.
to you. This is sort of an ink blot test for you, and that's what you saw, right?
That's what I saw.
That's what you saw. Okay, so I'm going to put a little gold here, under the eyes. Remember, we put some white first. Now I'm going to put a little bit of the gold color right over the white. Yeah,
Well,
let's
the good news for those that couldn't hang in there or were forced to quit, the replay will be available.
Yeah, the repay's available, and that's always a nice thing to do, right? So we're going to just take a little bit of white, a little bit of gold here.
Oh, say hello to Sylvia, the lady down under. She's here
Oh,
just
hi,
for a moment.
Sylvia. She's here, and she's using her good. She's using up her good minutes to be on here. She gets she's out in the middle of nowhere, I guess, in Australia, and there's
She's out in the outback somewhere.
out in the outback somewhere. I guess that's what they call it. They don't call it the middle of nowhere.
They have fancy names for that.
They have
middle of
fancy
nowhere.
names for it, but in any event, hi.
She doesn't. She bah, as she says.
That's
She
bah.
must be a sheep farmer.
I think this is just Australian for ha-ha, you know what I mean? They got their own lingo, like that, their own lingo. All right, so now I'm going to take a little bit of brown. When you're doing this, I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm taking a little bit of the burnt umber, and I'm coming around and I'm outlining.
I'm going to scroll.
This
I'm going
like
to zoom
this.
in a little bit on you're doing the scroll work here.
Yeah, what you want to
Because
do
you're
that?
pretty much doing the same colors.
Yeah, I'm doing the
So
scroll
let's-
work, and I'm sort of
Let's get some detail here.
I'm just gonna get the scroll work going here. And now I'm going to go into a little bit of I want you to see it. I've got a little bit of white highlights to make it show up. See that? Now I'm going to go into white and do a little bit of a light highlight to make the scroll work show up in a few places. Not everywhere, but just in a few places, or almost a little bit of yellow and white. That's probably even better. That'll make it seem a little bit gold. And someone is going to ask me, could I use real gold paint on this? Sure, why not? You could. It's your picture.
Absolutely.
You could.
And this is an 8x10, correct?
This is an 8x10, but and again, if you're making it bigger, just blow up the picture. I don't know why you'd want it bigger than this one. I think 8 by 10 is a good size for this myself.
I think it's perfect size.
You know, it's nice. It's a good, you know, it's a nice little painting. It would be cute in a, you know, guest room or you know, powder room or, you know, dressing area or whatever.
Oh, Lady Wolfgang, I don't think she slept today. Our Norway gal, she was on this afternoon. She's on tonight.
Oh, hi. All right. Well, look, we got people from Norway. Come on. That is just too amazingly cool. Isn't that, you
Well,
guys?
We have Mexico. I saw that go by. In New York.
Oh, in New York. Yeah, there you go.
Somebody on
New
the
York
East
is
Coast,
missing.
Illinois.
Illinois. All right. We got Houston, I know. And we got Haiti. I mean, this is a global operation, you guys. All right. So there's our, that's kind of there. You can see where we got that. Now let's put some more of this scroll work in. Let's just come out here like this. Maybe put some this way. A little bit of white and light. Like here we go. Here's some yellow coming up this way. Maybe going that way. Then I'll take a little bit of. If you outline it with the burnt sienna. Let me just mist my paint. Incidentally, I want to say hi to Angela Maxwell, who sent me this neat water mister. For my birthday. I thought this was really nice. You just need one squirt. It's a very fine mist. I don't know, we want to know where she got these because this is a really nice fine mist.
It's a very, very fine mist.
It's a very, very fine mist. It's actually pretty cool. We're kind of impressed with it, I gotta tell you. Okay, gotta tell you, we're impressed. All right, so now let's just make sure that we've got these highlighted.
Sylvia's leaving us.
So bye, Sylvia. Well, I mean, she had to use up
She's
some
limited.
minutes to
well,
just
yeah,
play
she's got
here.
her download to do this week, and
You know, she's got.
she's on quota.
She's on a quota for sure. All right, so we know that. Then let's just bring out this a little bit more here, and.
Something that we don't think about it. We can move terabytes of information.
Yeah,
around.
we don't think. You don't think about you know that people well, some places we used to. You know, now they're just, and really if you're trying to get internet off your phone, they have this thing about, I had this thing, I'm going to say it, AT&T, I'm going to just,
here we go.
All right, I'm going to just trash them a little bit. I'm sorry.
Getting on the soapbox.
All right, here's the soapbox. I mean, here's the deal. So they said that I had unlimited data. I changed my plan to unlimited data. Now, what does that sound like to you, right?
I have unlimited data.
I have unlimited data. Does that sound like to you? And then I get these frantic messages from them saying that there's an overage. Well, I either have unlimited data or there's an overage, but I don't see how there can be both, right? So I phone them up, and that's where you're using your phone as a hotspot to get the internet, okay? When you're somewhere and you're downloading, either you're watching a video or you're doing something, you're making your computer work because you're somewhere without Wi-Fi, right? And so lo and behold, okay, and I think that's a good term, lo and behold, lo and behold, I think I have to dry that. Can't do that without drying it. All right. We're going to do something else while that's drying because I don't want to take the time to dry it. So they said, well, we gave you unlimited data. You've got 3 gigabytes. What was that, gigabytes?
Yeah. You get
of
high speed.
High speed. And then after that,
We're going to drop you to 128 kilobytes.
Kilobytes, which is basically
Dial
nothing. That's dial-up nothing. So that's air. All right, this is mixing white. We're going out here like this with it. We're going to put a little bit of the phthalo blue with it. Okay, a little bit of phthalo blue and mixing white, in case you're wondering and a little bit of purple with it. There we go. A little bit of mixing white. There we go. Wipe all this off. There we go. Here we go. All right, so we're coming out here like this with that. All right, now going to do just sort of the starburst
so
pattern
you're moving
out.
the canvas down. I'm with you. No, I'm good.
All right, so I'm coming out like this.
Oh, I love that.
And now we're just, coming out. There we go, a little bit more mixing white with it. Because, remember, your acrylic's dry darker, and it's got a little bit of color with it, and it's all right if it's a little bit whiter than that. Want a little more color with that, a little bit white. There we go. All right, so now just come on out like this. This is our feathers coming out this way. kind of start from the mask and come out. Here you go, this way. Out to the corners. Go all the way off the canvas with this when you're doing this. This is a, just very thin mixing white. That's your transparent white. You can use zinc if you have that, but this is, you really, as an acrylic artist, oil paint, some oil painting artists have like 10 different whites. Did you know that? We've got like 2. Transparent white and, which is mixing white or zinc white, and titanium. Titanium being your door, you're totally opaque, like this paper towel, you can't see through it, or this rag, that would be an opaque white something, you can't see through it, as opposed to, say, cellophane where you can see through it. It's still there, but there's like a film. Okay, so anyway, now here we go. Do you see what we're doing here with this? We're pulling this out like this. This is fun, and we're doing pretty good here. What have we gone here? About an hour and a half, right? We didn't start on time though, so we've really been about an hour.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing.
All right, so here we go. We're just gonna come out here with let's put a little more purple with that. There we go. Ooh, pretty, right? So don't make this all one color. You can kind of just pull some color in there with that, either purple or that can be very, very effective with this. There we go, some color. There we go, like that. And let's exaggerate that. A little bit of white and purple, like this down in this way. Coming down from the bottom like that, a little more purple.
Wondering if Ginger is right-handed, why she doesn't have the palette on the right?
Because I usually have my water on my right, and which is where my water is, on the right, not the palette. I don't know. I've just always done it this way. Ideally speaking, if I could have, I like to paint like in a U, where my paint's here, and then I've got something here and something on the other side. Okay, and that's ideally speaking. And my. Somebody asked a question about French easels. I want to comment about that. Oh, let me finish telling you about AT&T. Let me rant. I'm still telling about AT&T.
She's still on a rant.
How did I get? Did you sidetrack me again, John?
No, I was over here quietly just.
No, you were asking. No, you were sidetracking me. I know you were.
No. See, you're moving the canvas around on me, and I'm tight.
Oh, fine. Just whiny. Okay.
I don't whine.
Of course you don't. You don't. No one ever hears themselves whine, do they?
No.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. French easel.
All right. So no, I'm talking about AT&T. I'm still on my rant.
Oh,
so
still on AT&T.
So I'm still on AT&T. So I said, well, I don't get it, and I said, well, that if you want to go up to the next level, which was how much was the next level? 6?
Yeah,
gigabytes?
6 gigabytes.
That was an extra $20 a month. No kidding. So there was I had no unlimited data, but what they did tell me was, because they could hear me the guy was trying to placate me, because he could hear in my voice that Ginger was not happy, right? Because I don't know you tell me I've got unlimited data, I believe you. So then I don't want to hear about, it's not that they charge me, but they just drop me like a hot potato with the Wi-Fi. So that's not unlimited data, is it? This is really deceptive. So then the guy says, oh, by the way, I've looked at your file, and I want you to know that you are one of our, what did he call us? A diamond?
Yeah, a diamond member.
Diamond member.
Oh, this was the funniest part.
This was a diamond member. And he says, and there's, I never see that. You're a diamond member. That is so cool. And of course, me and titles, diamond member. Oh my gosh, I'm a diamond member. This is so good. I love this. So what do I get for being a diamond member, So what do I get? And he says, well, I rarely see this. Yeah, you said that, but now what do I get? What does that mean exactly? You're going to drop my rate, right? Because I'm such a great customer. You're going to give me unlimited data. What's the deal? Real unlimited data? What's the deal? I don't pay the extra $20. What is the deal here, really? And so then he says, and this is so funny. Then he says, well, what you get is, and he's thumbing through looking for something he might give me, right? And I think he's almost making it up, but apparently not. What did I do with that little pointy brush?
Not blame me.
Well, here it is in the water.
You're not supposed to keep those in the water.
Here's my water bucket here. Cool, right? So, yeah, you don't want to leave those in the water because they bend. All right, so we did this. Now we're going to take a little phthalo blue and titanium white, okay, like that. And we're going to put a little bit of a yellow with that and make sort of its pretty green color. Ooh, like that. And we're going to come up here and we're just going to take this little brush, a little more phthalo blue, And we're going to take this little brush and put a little diamond jewel right here like that in the forehead. And we're going to come up and put one up here too. Just put a little more white with that. Here we go. Looks like a little diamond shape, okay? Okay. Now, the trick is with this to make it look jewel-like, then you add a little bit of white to it. Like that, and here like that, a little bit of white on the top. There you go, a little jewel. And then you make it a little darker on the sides. A little bit of phthalo blue, make it a little bit darker. There you go. Okay. All right. All right, so there's our little gemstones.
So what did they give you, Ginger?
So what they gave you? Oh yeah, what they gave me. So what they gave me, they said, well, you get free movie tickets to the AMC movie ticket.
On Tuesday only, though.
On Tuesday only. And I'm going, great, free movies. And we have an AMC theater in our area, so I'm thinking, that's just great, okay? Making these little dots now. Out here like this, almost like the herringbone pattern. And that's just great. I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine blue with that too, a little bit of water. There we go. Here's some dots now. They're less, there we go, a little bit of dots coming out with our feathers. A little bit of dots. Doop, 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 doop.
So that's the only thing you get for being a diamond member?
Yeah, so that's what you get. But then, so then we said, you go to this, here's the link, and you go here and you look. So I go to look, and basically, I guess technically, they did give me a free movie ticket if I buy two. If I buy one, I guess we buy two tickets.
Yeah, you buy one, you get one free.
We get one free. So John we'd have to pay for John to go to the movies because he's not a diamond member, just me. And it isn't just, I don't know who goes to the movies by themselves, but I guess I have this free ticket, on Tuesdays, except that we broadcast on Tuesdays, so that's not, I don't know how helpful that is, but anyway, I guess we could, there wasn't any particular time we had to use it, was there, John?
No, anytime you want.
So sometime on Tuesdays, if he and I'm going to put a little bit more ultramarine blue with this. Get a little bit more white here. There we go. Want a little bit more. There we go. So here we go. Here's our little more white, a little more ultramarine blue. Want a little bit less turquoise. Putting these little dots out here like this, coming out from the mask like this with these little dots. Okay, like that. See how that's working? Isn't that cool? Okay. So let's just start this way.
So you finished AT&T? Do you want to go to the French Easel
no, I'm still talking about AT&T. So
Still
anyway,
on
that was their
AT&T.
free deal, and there really was no. I'm a diamond member, but was it a platinum member? It was something.
No, it was diamond. You were a diamond member.
You're a diamond member, and so maybe you're a diamond member too, because they don't write you a letter and say, by the way, you have to ask. And maybe everybody is if they ask, or if they're just grumbled
Yeah, we asked
enough.
him what the qualifications were for a diamond member, and he couldn't tell us.
Yeah, he didn't know. It wasn't so many years or whatever.
It just says up on your screen as a diamond member. It
He
sounds like he
doesn't-
was trying to appease you.
But anyway, maybe you're a diamond member too. But anyway, that was my story with those guys. But I felt that was very disingenuous to tell me that I had unlimited data and then I didn't have unlimited data. That's not nice.
Well, you do have unlimited data. It's just not all at a good speed.
Yeah. It's like, it's like we're going to, well, anyway, I mean, there's lots of examples of, how you could take that to the, But again, and of course it was better than paying overages. And they do tell you you've gone over. And guess what? I normally don't go over. So it's not something that happens normally. There happened to be a circumstance where the count did go over, but normally I wouldn't. And I have, like, for instance, on my iPad, I can just, I have a Wi-Fi. Can't use it for a hotspot, but for those of you who don't live in the States, they're talking about what you do is when you have your cell phone and you're somewhere without Wi-Fi, most restaurants have it and will give it to you. Some places we go to don't. Like Sweet Tomato doesn't have it. We don't know why.
Well,
As long as we're just we're just making comments about different businesses.
Just really in the
as long
ring.
as we're feeling disgruntled here.
Let's just carry it on.
Let's just carry on about the people that don't, right? But for instance, Denny's has free Wi-Fi. Some, not that I want to eat there, but they have it, right? But they, I'm just saying, there's Starbucks, for instance, has free Wi-Fi. They're not dumb. They understand that they want people to come to their restaurant. And anyway, but if you don't have that, you can use your phone and set up a hotspot, and your phone will
Wi-Fi.
allow you to make your computer work.
And it works fine at Sweet Tomato. We use mine, so it's no big deal.
We use John's at the Sweet Tomato and use our computer.
Because I have plenty of gigabytes.
All right, now come on. Doesn't that just look absolutely cool? Don't you love that?
I am loving that.
Me too. And I need to lighten these up a little bit here, these little ones.
I certainly hope the recording comes out. I know our recording will be good here, so if it doesn't work up there in the YouTube world, we will replace it with ours.
Yeah, we'll replace it with ours if we didn't get it. And we appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. And we hope you had fun today, those of us who joined us live. And I hope you get to watch this live thing that we did with the, Be a Fly in our studio. And the reason I say that, we did that today in the afternoon. We got a lot of our European friends that hung in there with us and watched it there. But what we appreciate about that is that, see, look, isn't that just cool? I mean,
and explain to people why you're not looking at the camera.
I'm not looking at the camera. How could you tell I've got sunglasses on?
Because I can tell by the angle where you're looking.
I have a screen off here to my
Sammy.
left. I have a screen off here to my left, and I can see what the painting looks like, all right?
Blown up big.
So
Instead of walking away from it.
Yeah, it's like walking away from your picture. So now we're going to come back. This is dried enough. We're going to come back here with a little lighter bits on our...
We have a question.
Yeah, question. We like questions.
Why is her nose white under the mask?
Right under here?
No, I'm thinking the bridge. Isn't the mask go across? You see where the blue jewel is?
Oh, that's a highlight on the mask. That was in the photo. It's a highlight. Here's the original picture. See, white.
Okay.
That's what you want to back out a little bit now.
Yeah, I'll back out since you're done.
So people can see what we're painting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right away, ma'am.
Good. Well, you don't have to be snippy about it. Just do it. Are you just being snippy? Listen, just get with the.
Do what I say. Don't give me no back talk.
Get with the program. That's what my mother used to say. Get with the.
Oh,
mother used to say that. Get with the program. Get with the program. That was it, right? Get with the program. And come to the party. That was her other famous thing. If you were kind of spaced out, come to the party. And I remember one time we were in Spain. We were having dinner with my parents, and that was, I don't know, it was one of those dinners where, I just was thinking about other stuff, really hard. Does that make sense? I was really focused on other things, not the conversation which my parents were having at the dinner, which I found rather boring.
Typical. I
was 15, so what do you want, right?
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly Mother saying, come to the party, Ginger. I guess she'd asked me something and I didn't even hear, you know what I mean? Come to the party. I think that was the comment. Come to the party.
Yep.
And
you would probably say, we're at the party, right?
I said, where's the party? Are we having a party? And if I had been closer,
typical teenage smart aleck remark.
I wasn't being smart. I really was serious. I mean, did somebody mention a party? Because I wasn't aware there was one. And I think if she'd been closer and we hadn't been in a public restaurant, I would have gotten just whacked. I mean, that was a whack comment for sure. And I wasn't trying to be smart, but I still remember it because she got so upset. Man, talk about upset. You'd have thought that I'd been swearing in the restaurant, That was so funny. Just come to the party. What party? That was
here's
her
another
deal.
one. Every time I would complain about something, my grandpa was always saying, better than a poke in the eye. Did you get that one?
I didn't get that one.
Oh, I got that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's
better than a poke in the eye, don't you think?
Like who? Why? Is there a choice? Like who was getting? I mean, just who says that stuff? You know what I mean?
Parents say that stuff.
you know,
I didn't use that one on my kid, though. I
No,
totally forgot that one.
yeah, no. My mother used to say other really unkind. She used to say some unkind things, but I think it was just with her thing, right? That I won't go into that. She said some other kind of crummy things, but that was the come to the party was, I think.
I like that one. Yeah, come to the party.
Was what what they said.
Well, teenagers are always spaced out.
Well, I think you just kind of zone out. As artists, you learn to do that. I mean, you get. I came from not my good friend Kathy Schuster, and I'm going to say her name on the air too. This is how good friends we were, and she and I went to France together one year and painted. We're painting, and Cinnamon and I was there, and Cinnamon and I were there too. Obviously, she came with me, so I was there, right? But what I'm saying is that anyway, the upshot of this is that we came home from going somewhere, and Kathy hadn't wanted to go, and she was painting. She's a watercolorist, really good. I'm going to have her on the show one day. She's going to be a guest artist on our show. She owns a gallery, and she's going to tell you guys what it takes to get in an art gallery. I think that'll be a great show. I'm going to have her as a guest artist and explain that because, when you're trying to get into an art gallery, if you have some of these things, it might really help you. So that's some of our plans for the future. If I can get Kathy right now as remodeling her house. It's hard to get her on the phone. We're supposed to go to lunch soon, so I'm going to hold her to that with the art gallery. She said she'd be happy to do it. But anyway, so she's in there at our rental house that we've got there in France. And we come home and all the lights are off in the house and she's in there painting. I mean, it's pitch dark. And I'm going, hello? Kathy, what you doing? She says, oh, I'm in the zone. I didn't realize there were no lights. I'm thinking, how are you seeing what you're painting? Where does in the zone come and sort of zonked out count, right? I mean, let's be honest, you nodded off, right? Who are you kidding with I'm in the zone stuff? I mean, we all get in the zone, Kathy, but I'm sorry. That was she probably won't remember that. She'll probably deny that ever happened. All right, but that was so funny. That and the fact that she never knew where we were. I love it. She never knew where we were. We'd go down the mountain, and she just, one of these people that everything was new. It was probably nice. Everything was always new every time we went there because she couldn't remember being there the day before, right? It was a new adventure for her, right? We used to kid her about that too. Anyway, that was we had a good time in France. We really did. We had a great time. Cinnamon came and John came over for a week and spent a week with us, and we had some great French friends, and I did a lot of painting, and really, honestly, it was great. Really, really awesome. Now we need a little dark in here to sort of finalize some of these little dark. If your little dark stuff isn't showing up, you need a little bit of the dark purple to make your design show up if it's not showing up. You can kind of see where we're at, right? Like that.
Where there's a light, there's a dark?
Yeah, and that's where there's a light, there's a dark. Now I'm going to take some burnt umber and
one of the famous
purple, and I want to come in here to these eyes and give them another coat of dark. All right, this is the first coat, and this is our second coat of dark. Just paint this again, because we didn't do an underpainting. Then I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna and just come up here and do a little bit of this kind of a light brown highlight in the eye. You barely see it, but it changes that just a tiny little bit, and which is kind of cool. And let's see, let's put a little bit of burnt sienna around our gem here for a little shadow here on the nose. Okay, and let's just widen that shadow here like that. All right, so this is, and this pattern was in the original photograph, but you could do a different pattern. It wouldn't have to be this one. Just saying, you could certainly do a different pattern on this, and this is how we're painting this. And then
you can certainly make it your own.
Yeah, you could add some more of these gemstones around the mask, for instance. That might be pretty. So don't be limited by what what we're doing here. Think outside the box. Just like we showed you yesterday where we did the flower umbrella and somebody actually put a sign, and I thought that was just a splendid idea. All right, so I'm going to lighten up a few of these with just a little bit of white and yellow. Just, Okay, here we go. And let's just bring up this a little bit more here like that. Here's our, now one thing I did with this picture is I took a little bit of mixing white and I went over the nose like this and I softened that, that purple. And let me just take it off of there like that. And I just sort of softened the purple a little bit. So I had the purple a little dark and I went over some mixing white and just pushed that back. See, I think that looked kind of nice. And then I'm going to take a little bit of titanium and add just a little bit more titanium right here by the lips, coming under the mask like this. And let's take a little bit of pink and yellow, titanium white, cad red medium, a little bit of yellow, and make a little peach color. Okay, like that. Mostly just tiny bit of peach color. Come in here on the mask, a little bit like that. A little bit more on the lips, like this. And I want a little bit more of the, underneath the nose, I want just almost a wash of the burnt sienna, like this, a little bit, almost like in shadow, like this, and make sure I have the shadow underneath here, like this. There we go, like that. So I want that shadow in there, like this. And it feels like, let me just kind of erase some of that. That's a little dark. Don't want that dark. I just want a slight shadow under there. And just erase that like that. Just barely see it. Okay. And it feels like these eyes feel a little small to me, John. I feel like they could be a little larger. I'm going to take a little bit of the, just need to make these eyes a little bit larger. There we go. Just slightly. You know, all right, so that's kind of, you can kind of see how we painted that. Now, come on, that's just cool, isn't it? How we did that, and then we still want to, let's see, probably want to clean up this edge a little bit too. Here we go, a little bit, we're going to clean up this edge a little tiny bit on the chin. And for me, the easiest thing to do is just turn it upside down and come under here like this and get rid of the, make sure that I've got this edge of this cleaned up a little bit, like that. There we go. Sometimes another coat of something can be very helpful. You did a first coat, but then it doesn't hurt to do a second one, like that. There we go. So you sort of clean up the chin, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the Dazzling purple and come up this way and bring it in a little bit tighter here too. Just skinny that up right there. Okay. There we go, like that. So that's kind of our mask. That's how we're painting it. I think that need a little bit of white now. A little bit of white on the tip of the nose here. Remember we there we go. A little highlight right there, like that, on the mask on the nose, and make sure I have enough white right here. Just a little bit right there. And come on down on this side, right side of there. There we go, like that. Just a teeny bit. Where's my shadow color? Right like that. There we go. Okay. So there, that's sort of it for this. I might take this tiny brush. I want to come out here a little bit. Just want to play with the nose just a tiny bit, but I'd say we're done. So anyway, Kathy was fun. We had a good time in France. I got to tell you, we had a really good time in France. And this was back in 2001. And like I say, we had a really, really nice time. And we rented a house for 6 weeks, and then just traveled around and painted. And Cinnamon and I and Kathy, we all painted, and that was great. And someday we'll have to tell you about Mary. Mary, we used to talk about Mary, and we'd go, Mary. We were so jealous of Mary. Mary was this California artist, and she had a fabulous house over there, just fabulous. And she'd bring retreats over there, okay? And put our nostril back here like that. Darken that a bit. There you go. Aha! Perfect. There we go. And we got to see, I mean, it was just stunning. Her husband was an architect, and he'd redone the whole house. And talk about, you're just going, man, would that ever be cool to have a house like that in France, where everybody could come over, small groups could come and paint with you, and she had a beautiful yard. It was just like out of a fairy book. Really cool. Gotta say that was just awesome. All right, so there we go. That's our mask. Let me just lighten this up here a little bit for you too. A couple of places. Looks like we need to lighten up our white gem a bit again. A little bit of white highlight in the gems. Okay. And I think I'm doing pretty good here, John. What do you think?
I think you're doing a fantastic job, Ginger.
Good. I got to just rant and rave about stuff that's annoying to me this week, right? Just everybody's got one of those stories. Yeah, a little bit lighter here like that on the eye.
Now we have masks from last year, right? They're up on the...
Yeah, we've got wonderful masks from last year. Do you have those anywhere that people could see?
Well, no, no.
I forgot to tell you to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even begin to know where they're at.
Well, they're on our website, they're under the...
They're under the store, right?
They're in the store for sure, you know. We know for sure that they're there, right? I mean, we know that much for sure. We know that they're for sure like there. Maybe I want to lighten this up here just a hair. Just a hair, lighten this up right like that. You don't have to do too much with this. I think we were pretty good with this. Got a little bit of a light highlight above here like this with my pink. And a little bit right there like that. Just kind of do a few little light highlights. Come back with that. Okay, but anyway, there we go. I think that's our mask, and I think we've got we've done pretty well with this. We have other masks. Last year we did a really cool Mardi Gras mask, and I think you'd love that. And we've got it, and then remember we've got this one. If you joined us late, we've got this one that's now that's for our members at gingercooklive.gallery. This mask will be over at our website, and this will be in your homepage. This will be available to. This is your lesson. What was different about this one, instead of tracing it on, I showed you how to grid this and really draw it on. Showed you fantastic way to be able to draw something on, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. And we'll also have this mask available. Is that available in our store yet?
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it over there yet.
It doesn't have it over there, but it will be available in our store also as an individual stuff, as individual.
The questions come up, why did you elect not to put eyes in it?
Because it's not a person, it's a mask. It's just the mask. The lips and everything, that's all part of the mask, you guys. It's not a person. All right, there's no eyes in it because it's not a person. It's a mask.
It's a porcelain face.
It's a porcelain mask. In fact, the original had cracks all over it, and I was going to do that, but decided I didn't like it. Okay, I've got to tell you, I wasn't a big fan of the cracks all over the face with it. I mean, I could have done it, and I could have even used crackle to do it, but I just decided I didn't like it. But anyway, that's why we decided not to do that. But you're more than welcome to put eyes in if you wanted to.
Put eyes in and crackle the face.
And crackle the face or whatever you wanted to do. But I just
Make
felt
it
that,
yours.
I made an artistic decision not to do that.
She gingerized it her way.
And that's all you can do, is you just kind of do it your way and see if you like it. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to just sign this like that. And I think we're done here. Yeah, let's just pull that to a point. Here, let's just get a little water here. There we go.
Do we know what we're painting tomorrow?
What?
Do we know what we're painting tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
We don't know what we're painting tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow yet, right?
It's not tomorrow yet, so who knows? I had a plan, but I've changed my mind.
I thought that might have happened.
I had a plan, but I've totally changed my mind. We're going to do something else. Somebody made a comment that they were really tired of flowers. I don't know if that's true or not for some of you. But some people are tired of flowers. Let me put it that way, right? So just put some more of this brown going up this way. This way. Well, no, I'm silent, but I can fool around with this a little bit. So there, you guys, is our mask. I think that's fun. That's why we did a little bit of this light brown and like a little reflections in here like that.
Let's go ahead and zoom in on
Just
that.
so you can zoom in on. There we go. That's our mask, and I had fun painting that. I can go around and I see where I need a few little bits of dark purple here like that to break some of this up in my scroll work, and you can go back and do that, right? If you need to. Maybe yours was perfect and you didn't need to do it, but if you did too, you can go back and kind of touch up your scroll work a little bit.
Who's tired of flowers? Take a poll on Facebook and who wants flowers.
Yeah, nope, that's what I want to know.
Not tired of flowers. Love flowers.
Somebody said, I'm so sick of flowers.
Never tired of flowers. I like flowers. See, we love flowers. I love flowers. I aspire to paint beautiful flowers. I need to learn vines and ivory that crawl up a house. I need more flowers. Well, you started a rant. Now the feed's going crazy.
All right, we want to know these things because, I get these comments, well, I'm sick of flowers, right? And then I'm thinking, well, maybe you're all sick of flowers. Maybe not, but what if you were? So I have no idea if you're sick of flowers or not unless you tell me, right? So.
Ginger, what about some Texas boots?
Texas boots?
That's what they're asking, Texas boots.
Cowboy boots. Well, that's a thought, isn't it? You know what I mean? We could do cowboy boots.
I think cowboy boots leaning up against the tractor with the chickens.
Cowboy boots. What is you and the tractors? Did nobody
I want my tractor and barn.
Did nobody buy you a tractor when you were a little kid?
No.
You feel deprived? Did you not get a tractor?
I did not get a tractor.
You wanted one of those Kabuto tractors, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
I know that. I know you wanted a Kabuto tractor. If you've never seen one, look it up. They're the best, those little Kabuto tractors. And John at one time, had a farm with chickens and everything, right?
I love my chickens.
And I bet he didn't, well, not that much, apparently, because you ate them.
Well, they get old, they get tired, they get eaten.
Yeah, see, I mean, that to me isn't loving chickens, John. I'm sorry. I know that that's life, and not that I don't buy chicken at the store.
I'm going to say, where do you think the chicken comes from at the store?
The chicken, I'm telling you, I didn't have a personal hand in its demise. Let me put it that way, John. I do not have any chicken guilt here.
I didn't have any chicken guilt as I ate the chicken.
Yes, but it had to get from your table, right? It had to get from your table to the.
To the what? It says the table.
From the chicken. How did it get there?
It had to get from the coop to the table.
Yes, it had to get there.
I let it.
Yeah, okay. See, I mean, draw your own conclusions, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Trucker Red backs me up. I eat my chickens and I love them.
Okay.
That's what you do with a chicken. When she's no longer producing eggs, what are you going to do? Just throw them out? No, it's a perfectly good chicken.
Haven't you ever heard of that? Born free, as free as the grass grows.
Oh, now we're going way back, aren't we?
Let's
blow the dust off that record album.
Born free, come on, I mean, even turkeys get, even there's I guess there's no zoo for chickens, past tense chickens.
I grew up with chickens in the yard. When we saw Mom go out with an axe, we could look forward to a good dinner.
Well, there you go, John. You've got chicken fans, right?
I do. And they want chickens with the tractor and the Texas boots. And they even mention the gecko. Long live the gecko.
Long live the gecko? Okay, I'm sorry. Long live the gecko. All right. So you can see me, I'm sort of playing with this a little bit, just kind of adding to the ornate of the mask. But I think we've got a good job here. If your highlights aren't showing up, you've got to give it a little bit of an outline. That's all I'm saying here. You've got to outline the highlights if they're not showing up. Okay. But there you go. That's our mask. I think we're done. This was fun. Thanks for playing with us. We'll do another thing tomorrow night. And incidentally, I'm going to show you this again. This is what we painted. I designed this painting today live. You'll see how I came up with that, which is kind of cool. I think that's great.
Mind halfway through
halfway through and painted something else.
Don't forget this Thursday.
This Thursday. This is a Wildfire. This is the release, the weekly release for our gallery members. And you can play with this. I'm going to just say it.
Sign up for a week.
Sign up for a week. How much
$10.
is that? $10. That's just like nothing. And that is including personal art coaching. We have changed the rules on that for a while. And you can send us in, if you're a weekly member, you can send us in one picture and I'll help you with it. Even if it's just to say, hey, Ginger, I did this, what do you think? Or help, I'd really like some help. So those are the things that we can do. And we love the fact that you guys are hanging in there with us. And I think we're going to say this again. We've got the nicest group of viewers on YouTube. And we love you guys. And thanks very much for watching. Good night, John.
Good night,
guys.
Ginger.
Night, Sammy.
Night, Sammy.
Night.